Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some of the ideas in the solo. The solo is a kind of wah-drenched, pentatonic-driven improvisation sounding thing. So there's not a lot I can really do in terms of teaching you licks, but I can point towards the theory, and there's also some notable moments that I'll show you how to get similar ideas. And then towards the end of the solo, there's some definite kind of ideas we can pick up and play along with. So for the first quarter of this solo, we're in with some pentatonic ideas in E minor. So if you know your E minor pentatonics, especially at the 12th fret, you should be okay to improvise some of your own ideas. If you want the blues scale as well, E blues. If what I'm saying there sounds like I'm speaking an unfamiliar language from a distant time, then there's lots of lessons here at Lick Library talking about pentatonic and blues scales, and I highly recommend just sticking in the search bar those terms and you'll find plenty of lessons on the pattern there. But for the first part, it's kind of taking licks around that shape. So that's going to help you with those kind of things. But then there is a lick which is kind of improvised, but it has some tapping, okay? We have this kind of bending idea. Around that, and it's a pretty cool lick actually. It's very Van Halen inspired. And it changes to an A, it goes to A here. And we're using A minor pentatonic on this bit because it changes key. So we're using this position. And what we're going to do is take the 7th fret and the G, bend it up. And then you're going to tap at the 12th fret on that G. A really good example of how tapping can be used as a way of extending the fretboard and also creating melodic ideas rather than just kind of shreddy stuff. However, the solo does quickly go that direction. So what we're going to do here is tap 12, pull off to the index finger 5 and hammer on 7. And that's kind of one of the ideas that's used here. What we can do is take that down onto the next string and the A string. So it's quite a cool little exercise you could try. So that's 12, pull off to 5, hammer on to 7 and do that twice. Then same on the D and same on the A. And the idea is just to get a good contact with the string and just have fun improvising with that idea. Again, just like I said earlier with the pentatonic, if tapping is something that's a bit like, what's going on? That's really unfamiliar, or I'd like to have a lesson on the technique. There are loads of great lessons here at Lick Library just focusing on that technique. So just search tapping in the search bar and I'm sure we can hook you up with some good content based upon that technique. Once you've done that, there's a different tone that comes in, which says to me this is the other guitar player coming in with this next idea. And there's two main phrases here. So the first phrase goes like this. Maybe do it on the neck pickup. Pretty cool. This is A minor pentatonic, but we're up in a different position. With the pentatonic scale, there's several different places we can play it. And we're going to start here. So we have the 13th fret B, we do a quarter tone bend. Kind of aiming for 14th fret pitch, but not quite. Getting the thumb over the neck. Because we're bending with the index finger here, it's quite tricky. Then we're landing here on that 14th fret G. Then we're going to bend the 15th fret B. Here again we're doing a semitone bend and landing on 14 on the G twice. So that's the first kind of half of this first phrase. Then the 16th fret, that's a half step bend as well. So that's kind of straightforward-ish for the first part. And then we're going to go to the 17th fret here on the B string, and we're going to do a monumental bend here. We're going to really bend this note from this pitch up to the pitch of the 20th fret. So that's 4 frets, okay? And in theory circles, that's a minor third interval bend, because we're bending the interval, the distance of the notes is a minor third. So that's what we have for the final one. And you're really going to have to get that thumb over the neck to get to that pitch. So that's the first phrase. Let me just play it one more time slowly so you can make sure you've got the right parts in the right order. So after that phrase, we have this kind of Hendrixy kind of inspired idea. There's probably other places this could be played, but I'm hearing it's quite thick sounding, which means to me that's going to be on the lower strings because they're bigger and you're going to get more of a thicker tone here. And the phrase goes like this. So that's the kind of idea that we're going for. And what we're doing is we're getting the 12th fret and the G, we're bending up a tone slowly. Then we're bending it again. Now what the trick, this is the Hendrix trick, when you bend that note up to the, on the 12th fret G up a tone, we then grab the D string 12th fret, so, and that's going to give you a kind of bent note on the 12th fret on the D string as a pre-bend almost. Very subtle, so you're kind of getting. And when you come back down, we're going to grab the 10th fret on the D straight after. Then we're going to go to the 12th fret on the A to give you the root note. So it's kind of a tricky kind of thing to kind of slow down. You have to sort of get it going together, otherwise it can sound a bit sort of fragmented. So making sure that that finger can roll over to that D string after the G string bend. And to finish, we're just going back to the 12th fret on the D string there. In terms of positioning, we're using the A minor pentatonic in this area, so sort of from the A string 12th fret. That's the position that we're using, 10, 12, 10, 12, A and D, and 9, 12 on the G. And if you're looking at your pentatonic lessons, that is the third position of the A minor pentatonic scale. One that often kind of gets forgotten sometimes, but it enables us to kind of create some cool licks that sound similar to that. So listen, try it out, practice the techniques, and you should have something similar to the solo from Born to Raise Hell. And again, these are kind of improvised phrases. They sound really cool, some bits to pick up from it, but also some room to come up with your own cool stuff. So with that being said, that is all the parts to Born to Raise Hell by Motörhead. Happy playing. See you soon at licklibrary.com.